Introduction to Aquaculture. Number 1. Explain and elaborate the phrase, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. It is more worthwhile to teach someone to do something for themselves than to do it for them on an ongoing basis. The origin of this thought is highly contested. I have seen claims that the adage is Chinese, Native American, Italian, Indians, or biblical. Sometimes it is linked to Lao Tzu, Maimonides, or Mao Zedong. The metaphor of feeding someone and that sufficing to get them through one day and one day alone show that people can only be helped so far if we help them and do things for them all the time. Then they rely on us, which is not only unhealthy for their development of skills but also potentially dangerous if we are not there to help them. One day, their very future is at risk. Number 3. Based on states of the World Fisheries and Aquaculture 2022 and Philippines Fisheries Profile 2020, summarize and explain the current scenario of the world aquaculture industry and the Philippines aquaculture industry, current trends in the industry, problem and issues, and where do we go from here, states of the aquaculture industry during the pandemic. Global demand for freshwater and marine foods is rising and increasing proportion is farm aquaculture and composes a range of species and cultivations method resulting in diverse social, economics, nutritional, and environmental outcomes. Rank 10 in aquaculture production of fish, crustaceans, and mollusks, contributing 1.24% share to the total global aquaculture productions of 59.87 million mounts. The country aquaculture production amounted to over $1.58 billion. Fisheries and aquaculture provide nutritious food for hundreds of millions of peoples around the world and livelihood for over 10% of the world's populations. All aspects of fish supply chains are strongly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, with jobs, incomes, and food security at risk. Governments and industry responses are needed to address the immediate economic and social hardship that the crisis is provoking in the fish sector. Government also need to maintain long-term ambitions for protecting natural resources and ecosystems and the viability of fisheries. Economics, equity, and environmental consideration all points to similar best practices, supporting the incomes of those most in need rather than subsidizing inputs or fishing effort, and ensuring that evidence-based management remains in place and is enforced. Transparency in policy responses will help build trust in the future of fish value chains and market, and enable learning from the crisis to improve the sustainability and resilience of fisheries and aquaculture. Number 3. Explain the concept of blue revolution. Cite some example and your thoughts about its pros and cons. The blue revolutions refers to the significant growth and intensifications of global aquaculture productions, domestications, and farming of fish, shellfish, and aquatic plants from the middle of the 20th century to present, particularly in underdeveloped countries. The rapid increase in aquaculture productions in the 1990s led to suggestions that aquaculture was undergoing a blue revolution that would transform the productivity of marine and other aquatic environments and new technology. Number 4. Explain the efficiency of aquaculture of food productions. Aquaculture is inherently a resource-efficient means of producing foods. Marine aquaculture requires no lands and animals, freshwaters. Since fish are grown on the water where the effect of gravity are lessened, they can devote more energy towards growth and need less food per units of production than animal on land. The value of aquacultures goes beyond the replacing capture fisheries as the main source of seafood. It is one of the most efficient ways of producing proteins for human consumption.